This is INCRadio, DZEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ, or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Live from the heart of Washington State,
where mountains meet the sea.
From vibrant city streets.
Snap a selfie atop Seattle's Space Needle.
To quiet lakeside retreats.
Fish for salmon at the beach or skip rocks at Deception Pass.
Take a ferry across Puget Sound.
Welcome to Washington State, the land of wonder.
Alrighty. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of our viewers and listeners all around the world. My name is Joshua Weber from the local congregation of Everett here in the sometimes sunny, today pretty cloudy district of Washington State. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I'm sure it's going to be such a fun and lighthearted show for us today. But before we begin, we have our guests that I'd like to introduce. So first, we have my Uncle Vaughn. So go ahead and introduce yourself and give any shout outs if you have any at this time.
Good morning, good evening, and to everyone. Happy weekend. I'm Vaughn Torres from the local congregation of Oak Harbor, Washington State District. Shout out to my entire family, my wife, who's actually sitting next to me right here. And again, friends and family in Washington State and throughout the world.
All right, thank you so much. And our other guest joining us will be our Ate Blessing. So go ahead and introduce yourself and give any shout outs if you have any.
Hello, everybody. Yes, I'm Blessing Guillermo. I'm from the locale of Olympia. Shout out to my locale, especially to our brother Felix, our resident minister, and to my loving husband of 41 years. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. And before we begin with our discussion for today, which of course is the Refresh Home Revival, we're going to be talking about just kind of our home decor and how it is that we style our homes. So with that in mind, our YouTube question of the day is, what is your favorite home decor? And what milestones do you display? One more time, what is your favorite home decor and what milestones do you display? So we're going to go right into our topic with starting with Uncle Vaughn. Can you describe your decorating style? In fact, you could even hop in with Auntie Clang there because you guys both kind of decorate your home there.
With regards to our style, we really don't have a style I can actually think of, but styles come from how we were brought up. You know, when I was raised in my home, because I'm from Guam, half a day, but, you know, we carry on how we saw our homes as they were being decorated or not decorated, so to speak, you know, as we grow up. So I didn't really have, growing up, many things displayed. Everything was practical. So if there's any type of style that I can say is a practical type of decorating style that we've had over the years, what best suits the current and as we evolved here in the past few decades with Clang, or Chrislyn, for those of you who don't know her real name, Clang, being together for 30 years, it's evolved because there wasn't too much decoration that was up and around. And I really think the big change happened right around the pandemic, which is about when my kids started to slowly move out of the house. So when they started moving out of the house and we eventually became empty nesters in 2022, which was 4 years ago, you think about it in a sense. I know there's been empty nesters out there longer than that. But I noticed it started to change as I was thinking about it here the past couple of hours. That's the practicality of our decorating style.
Okay. And how about you, at the blessing? What can you describe your decorating style if you have one?
Mine is pretty eclectic, just like Brother Vaughn. It's a little bit of what you grew up with, a little bit of what you want, and a little bit of the things that bring you joy. So I have different sections in my house that have themes, but throughout the house, it's all about plants. But here, my background is this long hallway of what we call our travel room. So whenever we traveled, we bring back a little bit of memento, a little bit of memories that I like to put things up for. And downstairs in our wall is a gallery of pictures of being married for 40 plus years and things that my family unearthed in their photo albums, old pictures of when Brother Jerry and I were dating, and we were like 16 years old. So that was like a lifetime ago. So it's a little bit of everything, but we try to be a little bit concise in each one and make it a little bit cohesive. But yes, we do. I guess for me, decoration is all about what brings me joy.
Okay. Now, kind of, especially, I was thinking about it when you brought up, almost photo gallery. Kind of like through the years, you're able to see that. Have you noticed any kind of like decor change as you went on?
Yes, part of it is as we as we grow older, more mature, there's so much choices to make, right, Brother Vaughn? There's so many memories that. So what it's been difficult. It's like of course, we prize our children's pictures, but there's so many milestones that they go through, like their marriage, their house, their joys, our grandchildren, whatever it is that brings us joy. So it's so hard to make those choices, but you have to, because there's no house big enough to hold all the memories. So some of the changes is that it is because of life, it is constantly changing, and it is one of those that's a hard decision to make as to what you put up and what you keep.
That's true. How about you, Uncle Vaughn? Have you been? I know for the longest time, I've always, whenever we go up there, it's always those three. I was about to say paintings, the ones that are right behind you, but they're not quite paintings. But besides that, have you noticed any kind of like decor change as the years have gone on?
Again, most of the decorations that's hanging is like what Sister Blessing said. It's what brings us joy and stuff. And what brings us joy is our history and the things that we remember, what we did, places that we went, being military. I was stationed in other places and visited different locations throughout the world. Unfortunately, not my entire family was able to go visit these places, but we have these mementos like what we mentioned before. The pictures we've had, one of the pictures that I had as a kid, our kids were growing up, and even you, Josh, because you're up on our walls too, are the school pictures. That was the primary one. And all four of our kids, and it was one of those picture collages that we got when I was stationed in Denver. And this was between 97 and 2000, where I was like, oh, that's pretty cool if we actually had that. So it's basically 12 photo slots as the years go through each grade you would see. And then of course the final would be like a graduation photo. But the biggest one, and I know Josh, you saw it when you first came, like, whoa, that's a lot of pictures. We don't have a hallway per se, but we have like a hall stairs going upstairs, and about 2/3 of it is covered now of photos. And the photos that we really focused on were photos, and by raise of hands, I know everyone can't see it, but for those that are listening, you can remember, for those who've gone to theme parks, amusement parks, they've taken these, oh, I want to get that photo where they're like this in the roller coaster slide or a roller coaster ride, and they're like, yo, get this picture. So over the decades, accumulating all these photos, I noticed there were Some of them were displayed, most of them were not. They were stashed away. And of course, during pandemic, like I mentioned, there was a lot of time to do things. And so I was like, you know what? There's so many photos here that we have accumulated. I mean, I want to say thousands of dollars worth, because those are not cheap. You know, you're like, oh yeah, well, let's get this and let's get that. And next it's like $200. You're like, is it worth it? But then, it's definitely not worth it if no one sees it and they're stuck in a cupboard somewhere or in a drawer or even an album, so to speak. Some of them were in albums or, books and stuff. So that period of time, I ordered frames and I tried my best to put it in chronological order to see how, as you see our kids with our family, of course, an extended family, because like I said, Josh is on the wall there. We actually went on an INC cruise in Everett back in 2000, I want to say 2007, 2008, when the local of Everett, we were still a part of, Oak Harbor was still part of it. And it was there. And it's just brings back joys, like what Sister Blessing said. It's those memories and the history that we have. As far as photos.
Also, too, one of the changes, Brother Josh, I noticed is also economic status. Like when you're young, starting fresh, and you didn't have much, so pictures are the cheapest way to to decorate. But as we get older, as we travel and as we get a little bit more money, we do a little bit more traveling. We spend a little bit more. So mementos become a little bit more part of the decoration as well.
I can definitely see that with you at the blessing, just based off of your background right now, directly to I don't know if it's mirrored or not, your left or your right. It's kind of been, catching my eye there when you were talking about mementos. I was like, oh, would you like to explain a little bit about what that is?
Yes, well, actually, it isn't mine, but it is my daughter's. She went to Japan and she brought me back a kimono.
Oh.
And along the wall are places that we visited, like Germany, Spain, and we have that map of the world, and you can't really see, but there's little spots to where we have been and little places that we want to visit. So this is our travel room. And another thing is that Vietnam was the world's largest cave that my daughter went hiking in for a whole week. So little wonderful treasures that we want to keep reminding us of the joys that they brought.
And speaking of kind of like the little treasures, but also like the joys, more on the side of, I know you had mentioned it before at the blessing about family milestones. So have you been able to incorporate like family milestones into your home decor?
Oh yes, Paul. Like I said, the family gallery of all these important pictures, like my in-laws' 50th wedding anniversary. So there was a huge family reunion. So we have this huge picture of all of us when all of us dressed in gold. So those kind of things that it's so hard to, when you're in it, sometimes you forget that years from now, the kids will go, oh, I remember that. So part of it is really for our children, what we're passing on, the legacies that we're passing on, the love for family, our faith, like what Brother Vaughn mentioned. I'm sure that picture of your cruise with your locale brings back pleasure, but it also brings the unity of the locale that your children, I'm sure, treasure too when they see it.
Now, I know just because I've been there so many times, Uncle Vaughn, about family milestones, especially with pictures. But kind of a more important one that even I would like to know: how is it that you decide, what kind of keepsakes that you would have displayed inside the house?
Well, it's kind of again, it's practical in a sense. One example is not, I don't know if I'm going to really answer your question, Josh, but I'm gonna kind of scroll right here. See, look at this right here. Those are Starbucks mugs, and that happened during pandemic. I was like, my wife Clang and her sisters love collecting Starbucks mugs, and drinking coffee, of course, it's great. And they would collect not only for where they go, for where their family, their sisters go and they buy, oh, we're gonna buy other. There's times when half of our luggage is Starbucks mugs coming back from a vacation. I'm like, that's okay, let's go, let's do it. But it was always being stored in the cupboards. I'm like, I mean, you got to open the cupboards to see where it's at. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to come up with something. I'm going to repurpose something that we can actually try to, with Clint's help, her ideas, right? She's right next to me. She's like, wait, that's my idea. But, I was like, okay, let's do this. And so I went to my garage because you can't really tell, but these cases were CD case racks. And who has CDs anymore? I didn't get rid of them for some reason. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just leave it there. And we had enough space. And then, I had a lot of CDs and DVDs. And so we repurposed. There's actually 2 of them here. And there's a third one that's already starting to be filled and, to display. So when family come, and the first time we went up a few years ago, again, it's during pandemic, and even friends and, other family members, friends, and church members that would come like, oh, that's pretty cool. It's because it's displayed, and they're like, oh yeah, that's cool. Instead of it being in the cupboard and we'll never see it. It'll never be seen. So.
I love that idea, Brother Vaughn, because I too have been collecting mugs wherever I go. And I love the idea that you get to show it, because that is one of the things, like, nobody sees it except you. But again, it's just one of those things that, again, brings you joy when you like, oh yes, I remember being in Dubai. I remember being in, that state. So that's just, again, it brings us joy. So I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Another important question. We'll go to the blessing for this one, and then go right to Uncle Vaughn. Now, how is it, or who is it between you and your spouse who gets to decide what gets put up in the house?
Me. Me, definitely me. I'm the more sentimental one. And through the years, Jerry has gotten used to it, and sometimes he actively participates. He's a photographer, as you may know. So there are times when he's like, oh, this is a really good picture of this one. You should get this one printed and framed. So he'll make suggestions. But frankly, it's really me, that because I am an extrovert and I like to see things out there, I get to decide which one goes up. But I also get to decide where they go up.
And how about you, Uncle Vaughn? I know you're already kind of like laughing. So what's the answer to that one?
From my recollection, because I think it's shifted actually. When we first got this place, we've been in Oak Harbor since 2000, but we got this place in 2005. So we've been here over 20 years, 21 years to be exact. And in the beginning, it was your Auntie Clang. She would be like, oh yeah, let's do this. And I would, of course, be the one to help put it up or whatnot, center everything, because my dad's an electrical engineer and he showed me how to make sure everything is done properly. And of course, I'm a little OCD as far as, things, leveling things out, and string's your best friend and a level. But over the past few years, again, I'm focusing on pandemic, especially when our kids started leaving. I actually started doing a little more. Of course, I'd ask Clang where if this is good, and she'd get the okay. I would give I want to do this, and then she would do the final. And then as we're going through, yeah, that's a good one. And then of course we'll adjust. But really, and it's kind of one of the things, you don't really notice it. They're all subliminal messages, so to speak, because when our kids were out of the house, and there's times when, it was a little sad to not have the kids in the house. I'm going to get a little emotional a little bit. But Sister Clang would say some things, and I'm like, yeah, they're out of the house, and so I'm like, what, it's in my mind, I'm like, what, to allow to make her realize that they're still here. Because they're here, and of course we miss them, but we don't say it as much, of course. But this is our subliminal way of saying they're always going to be here. Sorry.
It's okay. It's definitely, with especially when we're talking
Dad,
about family.
you're
There we
gonna
go.
make us all cry here.
There's
What's
sister
going
here's Pia hopping in.
on? Whoa! What's happening?
Yeah. So yes, that's that again. The practical, like I mentioned earlier, practicality of decorations. It's bringing them back in a sense, especially with the photos coming up. Because again, we didn't have that many photos, just with the kids. And then as pandemic happened, and here I'm gonna slap my she's slapping her eyes. but with the help of our mighty God, we're always being strong regardless, because we know that they're taking care of themselves, they're taking care of their duties, and of course, that's our decor.
That's my
All right.
exercise, going up and downstairs.
There we go. Thank you so much, Uncle Vaughn and Ate Blessing, for joining us.
Thank
Of course, when we're talking about things like home decor, and of course we talk about, our mementos, our milestones, it's going to get a little emotional, so it's perfectly fine. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing with us. Before we go into our next segment with Kuya Andrew, we have a few comments that we'd like to read here from Annette Baldonado. Happy 50th birthday, Ka Mervin Marcos, the head deacon of Federal Way, from Ka Donnie and Ka Annette Baldonado, from AJ Capistrano. Oh, I love this topic. My home is just a bunch of little trinkets that bring my husband and me joy. There we go. More topic, or more joy, of course, through our things that we have in our homes. We have a greeting from Irene. Irene, greetings from Olympia. From Brother Relly, our assistant district minister. Happy Saturday and happy viewing to all. From Andi Klang, or Sister Chrislyn Torres. That's why I like walking up and down the stairs, because I look at the pictures of our family whenever I miss my kids. From Shay Ann, let's see, Among Us. Happy viewing to all and brethren all around the world. Greetings from the Among Us family, local congregation of Tacoma, and from Donna Lopez. Greetings from the local of Bellingham. All right, there we go. We've made it through a few of our greetings, and now we're going to go ahead and pass it to Kuya Andrew with From the Needle. So without further ado, take it away.
Thank you, Kuya Josh. I'm Kuya Andrew. Welcome to From the Needle. Before we talk about some future activities, let's talk about one past activity. It happened on March 1st, so last Sunday, we had our Christian Brotherhood International, or CBI, Kindness Day. It was the first CBI activity of the year 2026, which featured a lot of different ways to show kindness to others and also to ourselves. For future activities, we have one for the ecclesiastical district of Washington State on March 15, which is not tomorrow, it's actually the next Sunday. We'll have a Kadiwa meet and greet in the Shoreline Chapel Function Hall at 5 p.m. The Kadiwa, that means youth with a noble intent in Tagalog, or the Filipino language. The Kadiwa comprise of those who are over 18 and unmarried, such as myself. So if you would like to meet and greet, to take selfies, to create new memories, new photos, that is the way to do that in that activity. No subliminal messages here. So we have that activity for our Kadiwa brethren. So remind the Kadiwa, for community activities and events, we're not sponsored by these. Actually, tomorrow, March 8th, at around 2 in the morning, we have our daylight savings time. So we will spring forward. We will lose 1 hour. For some of us, you'll have to manually change your analog clocks, but digital clocks are fine. It will automatically make you lose 1 hour. Okay. When it comes to March 7 and 8, we have our Penn Cove Muscle Fest, PENNCOVE, and Muscle Fest, MUSSELFEST, at Coopville Wharf. This is south of Oak Harbor. Food vendors, cooking demonstrations, and boat tours. And some activities, they require tickets. So be sure to check online for more info. On March 9, which is on Monday, next Monday, and after that Monday, on March 19th, that's a Wednesday, we have Discover Pass. There are some free days. We can freely explore Washington State parks for free. And also on that Wednesday, March 19th, Tacoma Museum Night. That is the activity or event. We have free admission to the following: Foss Waterway Seaport, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., Museum of Glass, 5 to 8 p.m., Tacoma Art Museum, 5 to 8 p.m., and last but not the least, Washington State History Museum, 3 to 8 p.m. Hope you're able to record those activities from the Needle. Thank you so much. Back to Kuya Josh.
All righty. Thank you so much, Kuya Andrew. And now, before we close off for our show this afternoon, I'd like to announce a few of our hashtags. I know we had been not really announcing those recently, but we are wanting to go back and acknowledge the more active, those who are being active in our hashtags here in our comments. And after our hashtags, we have a little thing from both Uncle Von and Sister Blessing when we were talking about the photos. So while they get set up, we'll go ahead and talk about those hashtags. So in third place, we have the local of Everett. There we go. In second place, we have the local of Covington. And our number one most active hashtags from our previous broadcast is the local of Federal Way. All righty. Thank you all so much for being so active and showing, the love for each and every single one of our locals here in our district of Washington State. So we'll go ahead. We could start with Ate Blessing. So Ate Blessing, go ahead and give us a little tour here.
This is my family gallery. And like Brother Vaughn says, there's so many of them, but this is only a third of what I've collected through the years. And it is Brother Jerry that put them up. So, he is very particular about the spacing as well, Brother Vaughn. Thank you for letting me share.
Of course. All right. And now, Uncle Vaughn, I know you've been waiting. Let's go ahead and get you to show off the stair hallway of photos.
Yes, so here, of course, go Hawks, go Hawks. But as we go through down, these are all the photos that we're talking about with regards to the theme parks that we've gone through. And Josh, who's that? Oh, look at that. See, I told you, you're a part of this. So again, and of course, these are the, as we were growing up, this was the ones that the kids, as far as their grade schools, from all four of our kids going up on one side. This one has been up for a long time. It's just that this was added on as, again, for a pandemic. So.
All right. Thank you so much, Uncle Vaughn, for showing us those photos. My favorite thing about all of that is those pictures that they have there of the little caricatures of each and every single one of their kids. Terrell's at the very top is the one that kept getting knocked down. So it actually is the only one that doesn't have glass on it. And that's one of my favorite things to point out to him every time we go. little fun bit on that. But with that, we are coming to the end of our broadcast for today. I know it's just been 30 minutes, but it feels like it's just been just like that. But we will be coming to a close. But before we do, of course, I have a question for everyone. And that is, have you ever modified your car? And if you have, for us who haven't, where is it that you begin? Well, let's go ahead and tune in next week as we discuss more about modifying our cars. And with that, we'd like to remind everyone for our ways to tune in to our broadcast, which of course is through the YouTube channel, the INCRadio DZEM 954. If you're already watching through YouTube or planning to, don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell icon so that way you could stay up to date with all of the other broadcasts, not only here from our satellite, the Seattle satellite, but also all of our other wonderful broadcasts through the YouTube channel as well. We not only have the YouTube channel, but we also have the INCradio.org, which has many of our other broadcasts on there as well. And with that, we'd like to say our special thank yous and shout outs to Brother Eduardo Manalo, our Executive Minister, Brother Angelo Manalo, our Deputy Executive Minister, Brother Ramil Regino, our District Minister, Brother Relly Rivera, our Assistant District Minister, Brother Roger Manzanilla, our CFO Overseer, Brother Wally Tarai, our Station Manager, Brother Edwin, our overseeing minister, and Brother Manly Andaya, our executive producer. I'm so sorry, I don't want to butcher any last names, but Brother Edwin, I apologize. Of course, the listeners, and last but not least, the INC Radio Tech crew. Thank you all so much for your love and support, and none of this would be possible without each and every single one of you. So, from INC Radio Seattle, we will see you later.